Keystone Household Water Assistance Program agreement. Mr. Chapman.
Yes, sir. This is funding that we can flow to us for water utility bills that flows to ROCAP. We have for long years participated in the low-income heating program and received those funds to help citizens through ROCAP here in Troy. This is a newer program. Y'all approved this agreement last year for us to be able to pursue this funding. It expires at the end of this month on September 30th. This is just a continuation and renewal of that agreement that will take us through March of next year. So those customers who are eligible will be able to pursue this money.
Thanks, sir. Any questions concerning this item? If not, do we have a motion for resolution 2023-77? Have a motion by Ms. Holly. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Ms. Baker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any extension? No, we have one extension. The motion carries. Thank you. Next up is resolution 2023-78. Professional service agreement with David Resource Group Incorporated.
Yes, sir. As part of our joint use pole attachment agreement with AT&T, periodically we are required to count the number of our poles that they're on and the number of their poles that we're on. And those counts are what is used for the annual billing of those poles that we bill them for every year because they're on a lot more hours than we are theirs. And so this is the agreement with the Daily Resource Group and independent third party to go out and count those poles, also to notate safety violations, old poles that need to be removed, things of that nature. AT&T pays for more for this service than we do because they're getting more information back. So we pay for every pole essentially that then they look at their hours and if AT&T's on it, then they pay an additional cost for that. So this is the third party contractor that does this type of work nationwide, and this is the agreement for us to participate with them to do this count for our agreement with AT&T.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any questions, Mr. Shannon, concerning this?
Brian, let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The cost, is it inclusive of the administrative fee or anything?
That's right, everything. That's right.
Everything is included in that cost, right?
That's right, the $2.62 per pole, that's everything.
That's everything, right?
That's right, it's that per every, I mean, there's an estimate in there of, almost 3,000 poles, but it's that number of times every, how many poles they inspect that are out.
Okay.
That's it, yes ma'am, that's everything.
Or any attachment that we have on their phone?
Yep, that's right, that's it, that's right. Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion for resolution 2023-78? We have a motion by Ms. Bowman. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Holly. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Next, thank you, sir. Next up is resolution 2023-79, authority to purchase certain real property. Chief.
Yes, sir. This is the property that's located at 509 Orion Street, formerly the Fire Rescue Building. This is an agreement to purchase for $60,000 for the building and property. It's roughly 1.2 acres.
Do we have any questions? Chief Stevens concerning this item?
These funds come from your budget?
I'm sorry?
Does these funds come from your budget?
I don't believe so. No, these will come from capital improvement.
Capital.
Any other questions for the chief or the mayor? If not, we have a motion for resolution 2023-79. We have a motion by Mr. Baker. We have a second. Second. We have a second by Mr. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is resolution 2023-80, Alabama Department of Correctional Agreement. Mr. Tutt.
Mayor and Council, this is an agreement with Department of Corrections. Each day we have the opportunity to receive about 6 to 8 inmates, to help us with our daily chores or tasks at environmental services. We provide transport for these inmates. We take them to and from Elmwood, and we also have training where they come train our employees on how to deal with the inmates that we're working with. It's been a great partnership, and with your approval, we'll love to continue that partnership.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Tutt?
So, do you all provide lunch for them?
We do. Provide our lunch for them.
Okay. And this is costing you $15 a day per meal.
$15 a day per inmate. Yes.
Any other questions for Mr. Tuck? We have a we have a motion for resolution 2023-8, Alabama Department of Correction agreement.
I'll say.
We have a motion by Ms. Holly, we have a second by Ms. Mosley. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next up is resolution 2023-81, the city of Troy volunteer policy. Mayor, you will handle this.
I certainly can. As y'all know, later on the agenda, the city's personnel policies and procedures manual will be taken up, and part of that manual calls for a volunteer policy, and this is that volunteer policy. As y'all can see, it's simple, it's basic. There are forms that volunteers have to fill out, and if it is a minor, there's a form for a minor and a parent to fill out. So it's just something to make sure that the safety of the city and the safety of the volunteer are protected and covered.
Thanks, sir. Any questions from the mayor concerning this issue?
You said if the minor signs up, mayor, then the other one has to be filled out too, right? Both? Or just that one?
Right, the minor volunteer permission form is for the minor.
Right.
Anyone under 19.
Under 19,
Yes, sir.
right?
Any other questions for the mayor concerning the volunteer policy? If not, we have a motion for resolution 2023-81. We have a motion by Ms. Baker, we have a second. We have a second by Ms. Mosley. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is resolution 2023-82, City of Troy credit card expense reimbursement policy and travel policy.
Again, the policies and procedure manual that you'll take up authorizes the establishment of a credit card and expense reimbursement policy, and this is that policy.
Any questions from the mayor concerning resolution 2023-82? If not, do we have a motion for approval of resolution 2023-82?
So,
We have a motion by Ms. Bowman, second by Mr. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is resolution 2023-83, the fiscal year 2024 budget.
I'd just like to thank Shannon and all the department heads for the work on the budget. This is a very conservative budget. It will, as y'all know, it's $37,624,169 as far as the general government. With the utility department budget, $48,535,400. With a total budget of $86,159,569, which does not include capital improvements of $4,174,175. We made it. We made it through another fiscal year and approaching the next one. So we. Glad to be doing that. Obviously, this is the largest budget we've ever had, and the city continues to grow. Obviously, there are, the stresses of inflation are, a part of this, but it does include 5% for everyone and 2.5% for any classified employee that has maxed out through the city's step raise procedure. So 2.5% cost of living, and then 2.5% for everybody that has not maxed out their compensation.
Any questions or comments concerning the budget? One thing I'd like to say, Mayor, is thank you for allowing the city employees get this increase in raise. Also, one thing and the mayor knows this, that I love to see, and he said it was a very conservative figure that shows how the city is growing. Our sales tax expected revenue for next year will be $10 million, which is outstanding. And that's under the leadership of the mayor where things are growing. Hopefully it will continue to grow. Any other questions or comments from the mayor? If not, do we have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-83 fiscal year 2024 budget?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Davis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any extension? Motion.
One.
And one extension, please, let it be noted. I'm sorry on this one.
That's okay.
Okay, next up on our agenda is ordinance 446, amending the city of Troy personnel policies and procedures. Let this be noted, this will be our second reading of this ordinance, and we will have a vote after this. Mayor, for you.
This has been worked on for a long, we've been updating this process for, well, I don't know, 18 months or so, at least. So it's, we've only made one small change to it since we put it out to the departments and gave it to you the first time. As I said, as I told y'all before, it was basically just something related to how we, how someone accumulates leave and how it's taken from them if they don't work an 8-hour shift. That's basically it. And so everybody's, this was made available to all the employees, spread out throughout the city. We feel like it's, it'll be a useful tool as we move forward.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the mayor concerning this ordinance? If not, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 446? We have a motion by Ms. Bozer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Holland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any extension? Motion carries. Next up is ordinance 447, amending chapter 13 municipal utilities and services. And this will also constitute our second reading of this, and we will have a vote on this tonight also. Mr. Chandler.
Yes, sir, this is the second reading on these ordinance changes, primarily dealing with increases in water and sewer rates that came out of our cost of service rate study with Jackson Thornton. We've been here a couple times over the last few months to talk to y'all and make recommendations. So we're doing the second reading for this tonight. There are water and sewer rate increases in here. They're staggered out over 3 years. The first one will take effect in January 24. The January 25 and the January 26, so it's spread out over a 3-year period. There are a few other fees and additions in here. Our fee for our prepay service, which we are getting ready to kick off and get started and have been testing. A few other small changes to commercial deposits, lowering that amount. Changes to the fees for installing water meters based on material costs and things. The water meters have gone up significantly, so we're just updating those fees as well, just help us cover our costs on buying those materials.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions from Mr. Chandler concerning this ordinance?
So the deposit, electrical rates, the deposit didn't go up for commercial?
No, it went down.
It went down?
Yes, ma'am. Right.
Okay.
It's an option of a couple things, and one of them in there, the third option was a minimum of $500. In some cases, that was too high, so we lowered that to $250 to make it where we have a chance to. It can be more than that, but we lowered the minimum because for some businesses, that was really too much. So.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions from Mr. Chandler? Not, do we have a motion for ordinance 447? We have a motion by Ms. Mosley. Do you have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Baker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any extension? Motion carries. Next up is appointments.
Thank you.
We have no appointments for tonight, so our next item would be the mayor's comment.
just, y'all accomplished a lot tonight, and I'm very grateful for everything that you did. When you just look down through here and you look at the things that you know, that $1 million that we're going to spend on the largest lift station the city has, you know, is normally would be the highlight of any council meeting, and when it's packed in there with all this other stuff, that is 100% grant funds, so we are very appreciative of, you know, to ADM for their help on that. Just one a brief history lesson. The 67 is the only lift station that we have that is 2 digits, because it was the combination of lift station 6 and lift station 7, because of all of the growth that's been seen, you know, especially over in our industrial Henderson Highway area, and then all the growth in the residential area back through there. And that obviously, you know, is vital, because everything ends up down there and is pumped across 167, where it then flows gravity at Johnny Williams' office and goes down our station. So I appreciate Brian and his staff and all the work they did on that. Scott Trott and CG do our basically the work and do a very good job with that. And I appreciate that very much. You know, just a tremendous amount of accomplished in this. You know, and hopefully we can continue to grow, stay ahead of inflation. I know that Shannon and I will be working very hard in the next few months to make sure that we stay as efficient and as effective when we spend, you know, every one of these dollars that you give us the best way we possibly can. We're very appreciative of all of that. You know, Mr. President, I appreciate your prayer for the houses that you went to me. It's just, the loss of Elijah is just, it's been a real blow to our department, to our community, more than even his family. And I'm grateful for the outpouring for them, and we'll continue to pray for them, and ask the community to continue to pray for the Rouse family and the Troy Police Department especially. Just a lot of loss, a lot of friends, parents and friends passed away this past week. It's just been a difficult week. So just appreciate everything that y'all do and have done. The fuel will be on Saturday at 11 o'clock. Alan and Randy Carter waiting. Each other's a deacon in Bishop S. Lee James' church. And that's where the food. Thank y'all. If there are any questions related to all of this, I'm just very grateful for all the hard work to get all these important things passed so we can do the work of the city.
Thank you, sir. Have any questions from the mayor? If not, council members' comments? That's all.
I would like to also extend our condolences to the Rouse family. Having worked in corrections, I did have the opportunity to encounter him. Officer Rouse, as a correction officer, he was a lieutenant when he left corrections, and and came to the city of Detroit. And it was a great loss to the department at Ventress, where he had worked as a supervisor. And for him to come out here with that same pleasantry and the authority that he projected just in his presence, but that also kindness that he had. I know the department will have a great time even trying to replace him and his family in their loss. So I hope that we keep that family well beyond Saturday in our thoughts and our prayers as well. And I also like to say thank you to our fellow council members for the diplomacy that was demonstrated today as we went through this agenda. It just, I'm grateful for that. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Davis?
Our thoughts and prayers with Officer Rouse and his family. We want to make sure that everyone understands that. Also, I want to say, looking forward to, this is my first budget. So, for all of you that's been here a long time, I'm starting a new deal. So, Mayor and staff are going to really be paying attention, okay? I'm kidding, but thank you much. Thank you much for all the work that you've done and the effort that you put into this. Thank you much,
Thank you, sir. Ms. Baker?
I'll echo those, Mayor Shannon, I know that each of you and staff and all the department, a whole lot of work has gone into not only the budget, but the personnel handbook, and that, we do get to take action, and thank you for the time that you allow us in meeting with you privately so we can dig deep and ask our questions. But you put a lot of work into it, so thank you for that. And we're very blessed to be in an opportunity in times like this to have set the largest record today. And I'm glad that you pointed out that we're predicted to look at 10 million in sales tax. We've come a long way, we're still going. So it's exciting to see a small part of the investments that we've been able to make in recent years starting to, pay off in our community.
Well, and Stephanie, one thing, as Greg mentioned, us going over that number, another thing that means is that means a lot more money for schools. It means a lot more money for the hospital. So those are things that grow exponentially. Those investments that we make to try to create growth have certainly paid off for our educational and healthcare system. So I think that's something else.
No, I'm glad that you've pointed that out, which is absolutely true. This being the last week of September is the last week for cleanup month for District 4, so please take advantage of that. Call 311 for that pickup, or use the 311 app that we have. And I also join my colleagues in praying for the Rouse family and to our police department as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Mosley?
Of course, we all on one accord about praying for the Rouse family and any other families that have lost loved ones. I know we're going to continue to be about getting, because to whom much is given, much is required. And so I'm thanking our colleagues and this mayor and this city for us being good stewards of what we're being blessed with to give back. And so, it's been a pleasure. It's always going to be a pleasure to serve with colleagues that we're not selfish. We're about helping where we can and making our departments be the best and giving them all the resources they need to continue to do the best that they can for this city. And it's evident. And I also want to know, I know Stephanie has 1 week, but you won't see, the 1st of October is District 5's.
They tell me, yeah. Go ahead
And
and
so,
start.
I need to put that plug in, because the next time we'll be through 2 weeks before we say that again. And so I just want to thank all you all for the good work that you do. You know. Especially now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Amen. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. I also want to tell the mayor, Shannon, all the department heads, and all the staff members, thank you for your hard work on our budget. Yeah, I know it's not an easy task, but we do appreciate everything that y'all do. And with that, we have a motion for adjournment. Adjourned. Did I mess up earlier?
He encouraged